Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. And again, today I'm your co host, Mike Bailey, along with Ellen DePlacido. Ellen, are you there?
I am.
You
Good
are.
morning.
Good morning. How are you? Okay, fine.
Good. You
Hey,
didn't wake me up.
I didn't wake you up. Hey, the last few sessions we've been talking about organic gardening, and we want to kind of continue that with this particular session. And we never thought this is session number 5 on organic gardening, and I didn't think we'd take this many. But it's a very important topic, and
It's
people a
important.
topic that people
Hmm.
were interested in, so we wanted to go through that. And what it is, it's a kind of a culmination of a lot of things that we've talked about during the course of the season. And like I said in the last program, the key to organic gardening is keeping your plants healthy. And that's what we really kind of focused in on. So today we're going to start off a little bit about pest control because that can be a problem in a vegetable garden,
Yes, it can.
and especially with some animals, the deer and the rabbit, woodchucks, chipmunks, voles, etc. And not a whole lot of good ways of keeping these out. Okay, the fence is probably one of your better bets. Okay, when it comes to all of these particular animals, and they can all be very, very destructive to gardens. In fact, we are dealing with a woodchuck down at the Emmaus Garden right now.
Hmm.
How that ever got into Center City, okay, and found our garden and built a den real close by, and well, actually in the garden. It's just amazing how this can happen. So we're taking steps to eliminate that from the garden. So I won't.
Those are some of the things you have to do.
Yeah, you're right. So whatever.
Hmm.
But I really kind of wanted to talk about insects, and the key to dealing with insects in your garden is to be, take some time and learn some things about the insects, that are potential problems for the different crops, and so you know what to watch for. The cucumber beetles and the squash bugs and the tomato hornworms and the cabbage worms. You got to have some kind of an idea of what time of the season, okay, they might present a problem for you in the garden. Because none of these are a problem during the course of the whole year. They seem to appear at a particular time in in
Hmm.
in and cause a lot of problems initially, then they kind of wane after that. You got to know a little bit about that life cycle. And, you know, when we talk about that, I want to remind everybody that, we've addressed a lot of these individual insects, which are a problem in a vegetable garden and really outside a vegetable garden also, in some of our previous programs. And we cannot address all the detail in today's program, but we can refer you back to those particular programs. And this is a reminder that all of these programs are now posted on the Erie County, Pennsylvania. And I say Pennsylvania because if you try to look it up, you got to be careful because there's an Erie County in Ohio and in New York and maybe other places. You can go to those things, and all the programs are listed there. And you can go down through the titles and pick out, the cucumber beetles or the squash bugs, et cetera, and stuff like that. So please take advantage of that. You got to know whether is it the adult or the larvae that are going to present the problems. You got to know, you know, be able to ID the eggs sometimes, and that can eliminate a lot of your problems with insects. And again, what stages of the life cycle are these insects going to cause the most damage? And what naturally occurring substances in particular, because we like to refer to you, the non synthetic things, can help resolve this problem. But diseases can be a problem also, can't they, Ellen?
Yes, they certainly can. And we're going to talk about how to prevent diseases because once a plant has a disease, there's really no cure. So, how would you prevent some of those diseases, which a lot of times we're talking about molds and funguses and mildew? Um, First of all, keep your plants healthy. And we talk about that every session, especially in the organic gardening. Start out by keeping your plants healthy. And some plants you need to mulch around, like your tomatoes, peppers in particular. You can mulch with some straw, non-treated grass clippings. We do that down in Emmaus. And you can even use shredded paper and other items to put under those plants that will help keep the soil from splashing up on the leaves and on the fruit, and keep that accompanying fungus off the plant surfaces. So know what naturally occurring substances can help prevent fungal infections like your coppers, sulfurs, and oils. And as Mike has said, we've talked about those substances or items in previous programs. So that would be a good thing for you to be aware of. And another um, practice that we use at Emmaus is we've devoted an area that will attract pollinators and beneficial insects. We've planted flowers in a particular area, and we've planted herbs in a particular area. And these flowers and herbs provide nectar and pollen that attracts and keeps beneficial insects in the garden, and that will help to eliminate any bad bug that might be attracted to your garden. So flowers in the vegetable garden, the best flowers to use are those that have a flat surface, and they allow those smaller insects to land and feed, and include perennials and also some annuals along with herbs in those beds. And besides planting in the middle garden, we plant around the edges of the garden also, because that will help keep some of those bad bugs away from the vegetable garden.
Now, listen, Ellen, don't get crazy with all these flowers in our vegetable garden. Come on.
You know I like the flowers in the garden, and they're pretty.
You can go crazy with this idea, okay?
Yeah, you can.
Ellen and I have obviously gone back and forth about this whole issue. Are we really going to take up space in our vegetable garden for a lot of flowers? But they do provide those benefits like Ellen was talking about. So, they do keep our pollinators and our good bugs, okay? They give them a nice home, okay, to help us out to deal with those things that are disruptive to our garden. So, it does make the garden attractive, and
Yeah.
you know,
And really, if you do it the best way, you're not taking up a lot of vegetable space, Mike.
yes, okay, fine. Well, Ellen, I think we've used up our time for this particular session. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you're with us next time. Thank you. Now, bye bye.
Bye.